If you want to be the best in crypto, you got to start to think like the best. And what are the best doing? Nothing. That's right. They're actually mostly doing nothing. They're literally just holding, and then red candles appear and they say, you know what? Screw it. I reckon it's going to sort itself out. See you next year. It's kind of funny. That's most of investing, friends. The people who aren't going to make it are trying to click their way to financial freedom. They are going to keep on clicking and they're going to get wrecked. I'm going to show you a post. Traders continue to short Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. So friends, there's this whale here. This whale, so firstly, let's look at the bottom part first, because this is what happened first. Whale watch. A whale deposited $13 million of USDC into Hyperliquid. So they started shorting Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. So this whale watch, I know, it's not just you going to Kmart at 11 o'clock at night and seeing the hot babes that are there. Whale watch here is sniffing out these giant participants who can't help but decide to short something after it's gone down for 5 months. Wow. Guess what they've done? So, friends, this is literally, you're witnessing how people destroy themselves in real time. So, what's happened is the market stopped going down. So, look what they did. Whale watch. This whale deposited 25 million into Hyperliquid to now short Bitcoin, Ethereum, Soy with 5x leverage. Please don't ever do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. By the way, if you're in a short right now and you're doing this, don't do it, dude. Don't do it. This is how it all happens. This is how it all starts, okay? People keep piling on the leverage because they just don't want to take a loss on their trade and they get cucked. Now, not all of these people are hedged. So a lot of people, I always have this feeling, and so the people watching them as well, they're like, oh, don't worry, they're hedged. Oh, don't worry, I'm sure they know what they're doing. We always give them benefit of the doubt. They don't. They're just gambling. I'm telling you. They're just, you've got, like, someone's going to get destroyed. Okay, it's a zero-sum game. It's not like all these traders make money. You know 99% of them lose. They underperform. So please be careful. Remember, everyone in the industry is primarily short Ethereum. Okay? A lot of people short Ethereum. They're fading Ethereum. They're short Ethereum. And look, I know Ethereum's trash. Don't get short on it, bro. I'm telling you, things can go from trash to mildly less trash to zero trash to a bit good to great. You just don't know when it happens. Now, I'm going to show you the Ethereum price chart on the CME. This is the Ethereum price chart. We hit a whopping 2,600 over the weekend. This is just the CME price, right? The highest volume node is around 3,000 American dollars, okay? So if we get there, oh my gosh, there's going to be a whopper of a squeeze. My gosh. Oh, the pain, the pain, the pain. They're all short. Man, I bet that they can't wait. They'd love this thing to go down and get out. That's why they're probably obviously all subscribing to Ben Copeland saying, you're all going home, Ethereum. You're all going home. So these people, you know, subscribing to Ben Copeland saying, we're all going home. Sub $1,000 Ethereum, $400. Telling you, man, the market will hunt you. That's just what happens. It's auction theory, supply, demand. That's it. Too many of you guys have basically bet on the rest of us giving up. We survived 5 red monthly candles in a row. We're not giving up. And also, friends, I think it's very important to wish a happy birthday, a second happy birthday to PulseChain. That's right. PulseChain turns 2, but there's a bit of a nuance here. 2 years ago, roughly on this day, May 11th, a PulseChain pioneer minted pDAI on PulseChain. Did you know that? May 11th. Yeah, you did know that because your friend Sommi literally told it to you 480,000 million bajillion times as we've gone through the massive FUD. So here's my post, one of my many posts. And you're very, very welcome. Highest value content in crypto. Thank you very much. Keep your black straight. Keep your back straight. It's a bit of a Freudian slip. Keep your black straight. May 9th, MakerDAO releases S-DAI. What's S-DAI? Great feature. MakerDAO. They have borrowing and lending. Okay? They have borrowing and lending, and then they takes fees. Those fees go into a pool. That's your yield. So when you hold S-DAI, you hold the fees accumulated. You're earning yield. Wonderful. So they released the protocol. What does Richard Hart decide to do? Instantly next day, snapshots PulseChain. Is that a coincidence? Maybe. Maybe it's just a coincidence. I've got 2 pegs right here, and I'm going to peg my nipples. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Could be a coincidence. Don't you think it's a bit weird? that the founder of the chain been waiting and waiting and waiting to launch it. Literally waits for S-DAI to get released on MakerDAO, then forks the code. Very interesting. I think it's interesting. What happens the next day? May 11th, the Vietnamese kid with his big fat dong, the exploiter, mints pDAI on PulseChain. That's weird. That's very strange. A Vietnamese kid who gone rogue, right? Who sent Richard Hart feetpics.exe pretending to be a lovely Vietnamese girl for one of those karaoke things, right? What's it called? KTV? What's it called, friends? You've all been there. Every Asian dude you know has been there. Is it KTV? Where you go there, it's karaoke, and they bring like the girls out. Oh yeah, by the way, someone snapped a photo. There's a photo of CZ with it as well. Yeah, remember, did I show it to you? I'll try to find it. I don't know if it's him. Now that I look back, I'm just the guy who posted it. CZ blocked him. That's why I don't know if it's him. I don't. That's why I thought, is it him? I'm looking at him like could be just another Asian dude, but that's funny. Yeah, I run a little exchange. Oh, like Coinbase? No, bigger. Oh, that's good. That's funny. Yeah, so that was the explanation for everyone saying, "Hey, how did this stupid pDAI coin? How did it get minted 2 days before the launch by the Vietnamese kid?" That's the only logical explanation. The Vietnamese kid had so much foresight to hack Richard Hart. And he's like, whoa, I know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to Trojan steal 40,000 Bitcoin. No. That's low-level pleb stuff. I'm going to have the visionary, prophetic vision of myself and the future to believe in a stablecoin narrative, a stablecoin super cycle, and I'm going to go infiltrate PulseX, make pDAI the first logo on the chain. You see what I mean? How far-fetched it gets? That was the logo, friends. The pink and purple rim job. So that happened May 11th. All right. And then 2 days later, May 13th, it was PulseChain officially launches, which we had the explosion. Also, friends, I heard a rumor 3 times by some credible people. Apparently, someone painted the PulseChain logo on the Ethereum chart. That's big, dude. Can someone get me that chart? So someone PulseChain, let's fix. Like it's the Ethereum price chart. Do you remember when we drew a big pair of boobs on one of these coins, but it had like, you know, $16 of liquidity. So we'll just, that, you know what I mean? That's funny. $16 of liquidity. But this, how did you do that, Richard? Ethereum's got like $180 million on the offer. How did you paint? It's crazy, man. PulseChain is great, isn't it? Yeah. PulseChain is great. Take both pills. Also, cool information, friends. PulseChain founder Richard Hart reached over 500,000 views on his latest video. Remember this? So it was a great video. I just got to remind everybody because you were waiting for price to go up. We were in a bit of this disbelief. We're like, oh, wait. The bad issue is actually going away. You're like, literally, it's been a big hurricane storm. You're like going outside and you're like, you're just so used to chairs flying sideways, non-squeaky chairs. You know? You don't want any of them to hit you. And you're looking around, you're like, oh, wow, the sun's actually shining. Are you sure? Right? What happened to Gary Gensler's clown nose? He gone. Honk. What about the Interpol? Well, they're going to be gone too. The Interpol was relying on the SEC winning. Where the SEC got cucked, and now they're doing a 180. The SEC have basically now said, guess what, baby? It's crime season. That's what the SEC is doing. Also, shout out to Sommi fan token. Putting my head everywhere. What if? Hello, PulseChain, PulseX, HEX, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and free speech. I won for us all. Yeah, top 5% of results, friends. Look, that's why it's important, right? Because all the people who said we're going to zero, they said he's definitely going to lose. He's definitely a crook. He's definitely a scammer. They got it wrong, bro. He could literally, like, friends, it wasn't even a case drop. He got in the top 5% of cases. So I'm not even saying, you don't have to like the guy. You don't have to do anything. I'm just telling you, the crowd was saying, there's the majority of crypto, not us in PulseChain with like 6 people left, okay? The crowd is saying, it's all over, it's a Ponzi. Remember Dic Carter, friends? Yeah, everyone's saying Ponzi, 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 Ponzi. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, I know that chart 99% down looks like a Ponzi. I'm just telling you, crypto's fundamentals are the people. The community is the asset. The community's still here, dude. They're getting more tattoos, which I'm going to show you shortly. So that's why this is a hugely... Friends, by the way, investing is all contrarian stuff, okay? You don't get to buy high and then make all your riches. You're probably wondering, how do people who buy high make their riches, my friend? Leverage. That's how they do it, okay? That's how they do it. Or they wait an exceptionally long period of time. They wait another whole cycle. Check these tattoos out. Shout out to this baby doll. So Crypto Coffee. I'm getting a HEX tattoo when it goes past $1. Many people already have them, like our friend here. That's awesome. There are HEX tattoos, man. Yeah, they were top signals in 2021. Guess what? More tattoos are coming. We're destined for higher. This is this gentleman's wife. He said his wife has HEX tattoos as well. I guess he's honeybees. See those honey hexagon structures, friends? I have a soy-free beeswax candle. It's scentless. It doesn't smell like anything. Green. Thank you to all the bees out there. Also, Lady Magickal Druid. Anyone planning on getting community face tats? We all know the answer to that. Depends how high the price goes. I know someone's going to get it. Mr. JayPlush, will you still sell everything if we see a Sommi tat? Man, that'd be funny. Friends, obviously I don't have any tattoos that I know about, right? It's probably orifices of my body I've never seen. I won't get one. But we'll know. You know, remember I always had this prophecy, like some politician in America is going to get like a Bitcoin tattoo. Well, I think we're going to see some crazy stuff, man. You know? Because they're like, oh, I'm finally part of the movement. When people get that. But this would be just... I know you see like HEX, and I've made that video response as well, telling you about, you know, Mr. Dic Carter made like a post saying, you know, he's suggesting we fork Bitcoin and remove HEX and all the P tokens. And then I gently just made my video, right, which you could watch just shortly before this, right? I've said, look, splitting the community is wrong. You got to add more people. Doing stuff to remove any of this stuff out is not the way. And then I also mentioned, like, all of the conclusions you make about stuff is business ISM PMI below 50, okay? That's why, like, when you're saying, oh, HEX sucks, negative externalities, when they also say the P stables are trash, when they just say everything, the stakes are too much for HEX, you are concluding all of this when PMI is below 50. Manufacturing PMI. Business confidence is in the lower trough part. Okay? And also, when you tell me that JPEGs costing $400,000 are the future, and remember, friends, that guy I made posts here, when there was one dude, he got offered like $4 to $8 million for his Bored Ape JPEG, and he rejected it up here. There was one guy who got offered 1 million, and another guy who got offered, like 4 million. Yeah, and they rejected it up here. So, like, also, to tell you, like, if we're in that period of time, I'll say, look, man, JPEGs could be the future. The thing is, you are just concluding that JPEGs are the future because business confidence is at the extreme part, the higher end, right? So that's why I would say, look, talk to me about how you feel when JPEGs have to endure a business confidence below 50 for a while. That's exactly where we are now. Are you telling me JPEGs are the future, friends? JPEGs are cool. I love JPEGs. Okay? But would you buy $1 million JPEG? See what I mean? A lot of them regret it. It's very sad. Okay, it hurts. But that's why I'm telling you, everything you say, oh, HEX is trash and we're going to fork and do it. I'm saying, bro, you've just concluded all of this from here. Yeah? Come talk to me when we're up here. I think we have a very different opinion. And we're going to play some PUBG music while I show you the HEX price chart. Because people do forget, like, it's funny, friends, like, look around you, man. This community cult, they came because of this. Yeah? They came because of that. They came pretty much, that's why I think Richard's going to do the same. You know, he'll be like saying, I can imagine seeing him right now. Okay? Probably eating a chicken wrap. Gyros. Tomato, mayonnaise. Nice mix. Less tomato. Bit of olives, no seeds in there. You know, just to spice up, but not too much. You still want to taste the chicken. I'm sure he's saying, you know what's cooler than 250,000 cultists? 2.5 million cultists. How do you get that, friends? You got to push the price up. That's what you do. That's what you got to do. So this is like, friends, imagine all our faces when, like, this is HEX, right? When it went up, 1, 2, 3, everyone was like, it's over, dude. Bro, it is so over here. And then look what happens next. Oh my. What's going on? Do you see that? We want to see that. That's face tattoo, everything. That's like you're going to get an ink logo on your willy. Yeah? That's the PulseChain ladies. They're going to remove the butterflies off their lower back. They're going to be putting, you know, also the ink logo. And PulseX, yeah, that's what it's going to be. That you send that up to that. So that's why we're here. But it only comes at the end. Okay? That's the thing. We all thought, you know, but here's the thing. In another world, I do wonder how high it would be if business confidence wasn't this poop, you know? I think from now, like, it would be nice, right? If business confidence wasn't this low, maybe in another world, friends, we're like sitting at, you know, 2x sack price. Which is like 4, 5x higher than here. 4, 5x. That would be nice. But just, you know, we got business confidence. It's still below 50 for such a long time. Now, at least some good news, right? For everything, like PulseChain doing great. PulseX buy and burn, friends, hits 7.11% of the buy and burn. Everything's like, yes, waiting, I guess, for Ethereum to continue like pushing the bears. We got the record number of shorts. Remember the CUC Mercantile Exchange? They, yeah, institutions all short Ethereum. Average price 3,000. That's the highest volume node around there. So that's, man, you know what markets do, right? You know exactly what they do. I want to show you this ratio as well. This is the People's Bitcoin, pWBTC. So this chart is showing, so this is the ratio, right? It's the pWBTC to pDAI. Now, what's interesting about this chart is it might trade, this is the spooky stuff. This freaking thing, it revolves around the Bitcoin price. So if Bitcoin's 85,000, this ratio trades at 85,000. Now, the weird part is you're like, wait a minute. How could it be that? Because pDAI is not a dollar. Yeah, because the pWBTC price is low. But I wonder if the pDAI price goes to $1 and this thing cranks up. Look at the value here, 228,000. Remember, it spiked up to 1.5 million on the pDAI collapse when Caddy killed pDAI. There are two paths for this ratio to go down. Path A, people's Bitcoin dumps 70% and then pDAI just stays zero. That's one path. We don't want that path. Yeah, I like the other path. The other path is people's Bitcoin pWBTC rallies 5x and then pDAI rallies 20x. That's like everyone wins, right? So I hope we do get that scenario B. This is the pWBTC chart. Just a few things just so everyone knows, friends. pWBTC, remember, normal Bitcoin, BlackRock BCC, okay, the compromised one, right? That's got, there's 21 million of it, supply. This one, there's only 150,000. So it's way more scarce. Also, Richard's got over 30% of the supply of this one. I forgot how he knew. Some wallets, blah, 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 whatever, okay? He's probably got more, just to let you know. That's why if you go onto Pulse Coin List and their stats page, Sommi mode has pWBTC in there. Because I'm like, oh, he owns a lot of that coin. Well, guess what? I want to own that coin too. But the ratio is high, so just be careful. I'm saying over time, no, be careful. It's going to be okay. I'm just saying, hopefully this thing goes to $3,000 next. I want it. Oh man, it'll be great. Imagine this thing. It relies on pDAI, by the way. If this pDAI's got to get towards $1 for this thing to get towards the $100,000 price. If pDAI does that 20x or whatever, it goes to 3 cents. So I have the arrow up here. So that's one way this ratio comes down. By the way, if this ratio comes down, what then? Well, it'd be cheap to accumulate pWBTC. You might also say, Sommi, what happens if it keeps running up forever? Okay, well, it keeps running up forever. But how does it keep running up forever? That means pDAI went to 0, right? Or this thing just kept getting an infinite bid. But they're all bonded, okay? I'm just showing you these ratios. This is how you identify value. That's why every single chart in a Tropa, pDAI, everything, every chart on the pDAI chart, everything showed pDAI was cheap as shit. Literally cheap as poop. Way oversold. Redonkulously oversold. Hugely oversold. Base of everything, it should be literally 3x higher today. It should, like, that's removing the Maria FUD, by the way. So that's the next part of it. So, final reminder, a win for PLS is a win for everything on the chain. All right. A lot of people want to know as well, where are we going to go in that next big move? Well, I don't know where to do the fibs, friends. I'm not like one of the Elliott way, but if you just have some hopium copium, where would the 4.236 extension take us from a linear chart? It would be around Eric Wall's bet. So around 10, 11x sack price for PLS. And by the way, that's huge, man. You want to know why that's huge, baby dolls? Because that is, from today, that's a 30x, man, if we got that. 30x on Pulse. So if we do 30x on Pulse, that's 30x on PulseX, 30x on PHEX and EHEX. You know, there's some ratio moves. 30x on Inc. That means Incentive goes to like $50. And there's ratio moves as well. So Incentive could go $100 because it could like accelerate on top of that. But then as well, this is just matching the ratio, by the way. Where would pDAI at 30x go? That would be 5 cents. But here's the thing. It's cheap against the pDAI pulse ratio. So if it just got back to its other highs, it would be 30 times 10, which is 300. Right? To get back to the ratio, which I'll show you. If you go to the pDAI to pulse ratio, so this is pWBTC. A lot of people still ask, friends, how do you get the full DAI chart, pDAI chart? You have to go to WPLS-DAI. You have to invert it. Okay, because it's racist. Deck screen is a bit racist, okay? And then you have the full pDAI chart. And then you have to click up here to get the pDAI to pulse ratio. There it's at a value of 45. Man, this thing used to trade at a value of 350. So if this thing just goes back to, say, 350, how much, look how big that distance is. That is, look at that. That is 700% gain. What does that number mean? It means 8x, okay? It means whatever Pulse does to get back to this ratio, you have to do 8 times Pulse. It's wild numbers, man. Because if Pulse does 30, what's 8 times 30, friends? It's 240, isn't it? Let's see where 240x takes it. Up here, that is a very, very non-racist 40 cents. Just showing you an example, right? Obviously, you want to go to $1 and stuff out here, but see? And by the way, PHEX doesn't have to do 30x. PHEX could do the 120x, right? That's based off its ratio keeping accelerating. So, but you get to see all of the juice, all the friendship, all the kindness. Where does it come from? PLS. That's why a listing of PLS means everyone gets a big benefit. Where to from here? Well, you know, man, people continuously short on leverage. They really believe all the bullshit that Ethereum's just gone to 0 down here. I'm telling you now, fans, man, Ethereum's got the stable coins, dude. BlackRock bought it. Donald Trump shielded it. Donald Trump's son shielded it. They're literally buying it. They own a crap load of it. Ethereum, Vitalik literally has said, you know what? Screw the L2s. We're going to go back to layer 1. We're going to pump layer 1. Like, there you go, bro. There you go. Like, it's a little blip on the radar. In the context of like the next 15 months, you're going to look at these little 2 to 3 month window where they just pivoted and everything just changed. And then what? Oh, like you're still fading it. So we are going to win. Okay, it's just a matter of time. Like, subscribe, bell button, all. Catch you soon.